Hi, I'm going to be working on this IKEA frame today. Obviously, I'm not going to finish the whole thing, but it will be like a start of a new project. Maybe with this channel, I kind of can keep going with it. And I'm gonna be adding a bunch of crystals while talking my talk. So here are the things. I think I got them from like Shein for $2. They were like a little pack. Today's topic of conversation will be the continuation of the first video. In the first video, I talked about the idea of authenticity just in general. In this video, I want to bring in more practical steps and tips on how one can access their authenticity. And the main thing that you would have to do is shadow work. And the reason why shadow work is so important when you're trying to find yourself is because as humans, we're born here. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't know where we came from. We don't know where we are going. Most of us don't even want to be here. And in addition to all of that, you have so many rules and regulations around how you're supposed to be, who you are allowed to be, and who you are not supposed to be, who you are not allowed to be. You have to fit the box A or the box B. Anything outside of that is frowned upon. Anything outside of that is not societally accepted. Obviously I'm talking about authentic self-expression and not going out there hurting people, hurting children, hurting women, hurting animals. I'm talking about authentic self-expression. I'm talking about following your bliss, following your heart, following your passions, not the fuckery that's happening literally every single day. But there are so many rules and regulations that it's hard for someone to really allow themselves to shine. And sometimes when you have to repress your true being behind all of those filters, rules, and regulations, you fully lose touch with who it is that you are. And sometimes the suppression is so deeply rooted and is hidden behind every single other filter, the mask that you wear, the roles that you play, that you don't even question and you don't even remember. Because imagine your true self is a mirror. It's your full height, your full body mirror, okay? You're looking at the mirror and yeah, you can kind of see yourself, but if you zoom out and you really start looking, you will start seeing the dirt, you will start seeing the shit, you will start seeing some cloudy parts, you will start seeing the parts that are not even fully visible, and those are the shadows. How can you truly see what your light is? How can you truly see what your passions are? How can you truly see who you are if you're not fully seeing yourself? If you can't fully see yourself because of all the shadow, because of all the life experiences and those limiting beliefs that other people have lived, experienced, and told you, or something that you have yourself experienced, or something that you've seen, or sometimes it's not even as small as your personal experience. Sometimes it's just experiences that people from all over the world or from your particular culture have experienced throughout history. And I'll obviously talk about the steps and the tips and everything, but the idea behind the shadow work is to really go down there really, really deep, look at the dirt in the mirror that's not allowing you to be you, and analyze it. Is it yours? Is it not yours? Was it put there by your parents? Was it put there by your friends? Was it put there by your lovers? Maybe it's your own personal experiences from the past. Maybe it's just something that someone said without really meaning it, but you kind of kept it. Or maybe it's literally all of the experiences of humanity, or the history of a specific culture, of something that belongs to you, of something that you are rooted in. It's really being able to recognize that most of the time the luggages that we carry are not really ours, and they're just weighing us down and not allowing us to move at the speed that we want to move, or to go where we want to go, because of just how much shit we have to carry. So shadow work really allows us this conscious space for healing. It helps us with finding, releasing, and seeing ourselves through finding and releasing the limiting beliefs. And the more dirt you clean from this mirror, the more clear you start seeing yourself. The more you see yourself, the more you see your own light, the more you see your own passions, the more you understand yourself. You start bringing that out into your day-to-day life. You start bringing that out into your physical reality. You start manifesting things that are more aligned with you. And even if you're having a hard time with manifesting something into the physical reality, you'll still be able to have a better conscious control of your perception of things. Because, you know, no matter where you look, no matter what religion, no matter what kind of mindset, and this can be found not just in, you know, I guess philosophy talks or life talks, it can be found in anything. It's the idea of you have to have a positive outlook on life. Are you a glass half empty, half full type of person? How you react is how you experience the situation. The main idea behind all of it is that your perception creates your reality. If you perceive something based on past experiences from a place of lack, from a place of fear, from a place of desperation, from a place of need or fear, you are gonna see something that's happening to you and see it as a negative, because that's how your brain functions, because that's what your brain knows. And when you're allowing yourself to do the shadow work, when you're allowing yourself to release whatever no longer serves you, you're also creating space for you to learn how to perceive something in a more positive way, because now that there is less of the shed and more of the light, you will start seeing things in a more lighter way as well. That will help you with once again, manifesting something that you want. Even if you're struggling with bringing out that internal light into the physical reality at first, at least your perception of the physical reality shifts to a more positive frequency, which will at the end lead you to a more positive experiences. So shadow work is truly an amazing tool that can be used not only to heal, but also to find yourself and also to manifest whatever desires that you want, because you will know exactly what it is that you want, and you will have a more positive perception and the more positive outlook and a more positive mindset. So that being said, let's get into the tips. The tip number one is the most important step. It's literally the base of the platform, so to speak. And tip number one is something that I've mentioned in my first video, and it is being curious. Magic word is curiosity. You have to remember, every reaction, every emotion, every thought, any kind of trigger, they do not exist in a vacuum. Everything is connected to some kind of a belief, to some kind of a pattern, to something. It cannot just come out of nowhere, not in connection to anything, and just be there on its own. Our brain does not work like that. So when you're allowing yourself to be curious with whatever trigger comes up, you are allowing the trigger to show you what it is connected to. You are no longer looking at your reaction, looking at your emotion, looking at whatever thought comes up at a surface level and be like, yep, that's just what it is, and giving it all the power. You are now making a conscious choice of allowing this trigger to do its job and show you why it's there in the first place. And it's not always going to be one straight line from the trigger to the limiting belief. Sometimes that limiting belief is so deep and so hard to notice that you'll have to clear out 12 other ones before it. Sometimes you're going in circles and you still don't understand why you're trying to find, but sometimes you have to go in 100 circles to get to the root of the thing. Now, if you're someone who has a hard time following a train of thought, it might be a little bit hard for you to just be curious about something and let that lead you, because you will end up thinking about 10 other things. In that case, I genuinely do suggest journaling. Now, you can write on a piece of paper, you can have a cute little journal, or you can just type in your notes app. You can type it on your computer. As long as you have an outlet of releasing from here, you will be fine. Because imagine the brain as a cauldron, okay? I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, I'm sorry. But imagine your brain as a cauldron, and all of your thoughts, all of those triggers, all of those whatever is happening is a soup inside of the cauldron. So by writing, by journaling, by typing, you are opening the spout of the cauldron, and you're allowing the soup that is inside of it to be released. And when you're releasing your thoughts, your head is lighter and you can see more clearly, because as you start writing, everything will start coming out. Sometimes the thought or the emotion is so heavy that it will take you more than 2 journaling prompts to get through it, or it will take you more than one big curiosity session to get through, and that's okay. Usually heavier emotions or heavier thoughts or heavier experiences are harder to process because there's just a lot of layers there. Use the journaling as a tool in addition to curiosity. Let the curiosity lead the way, and journaling is a tool that's helping you navigate this way. And if you're not particularly interested in exploring a specific trigger, you can just look up some shadow prompts online. There are so many different options. You will definitely find something that will speak to you. Get the question, start writing, and with every single answer, ask another question. With every single clarity, ask for more clarity. And by the end of it, you will feel so much lighter. You will feel so much happier because you just discovered something new about yourself. Sometimes the discoveries can be a little bit heavier, but once again, it might be a heavier thought that needs more time processing, more steps to process. Do not get discouraged when you get somewhere and that somewhere is not nice, pretty, and beautiful. Working with your shadow means working with all parts of your shadow, and some parts are darker than the others. All of it is you, all of it is love, so it is okay. The fact that you are now even aware that part of you exists is allowing that part to be seen. And sometimes all the shadow wants is to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be loved, and to be released. And not only will journaling help you process things more clearly, it will also be a proof of your progress. You can look back into the older entries you've made from a month ago and see how much you've grown, how much progress you've made, how much you were struggling then, and how easily you can do those things now, or how much shadow you didn't see before and you can see more clearly now. Because sometimes our brains like to focus on one particular thing and say, hey, there's nothing's going on, you haven't really healed, you haven't really cleared anything, this is a waste of time. But you can prove your brain wrong by saying, hey, that's not the case. And that actually leads me to I guess tool number 2, and it would be grounding. Now, while a lot of the roots are limiting beliefs that are not always yours, some of the limiting beliefs are actually yours. And brain likes to do one thing, and it is to recognize patterns. Brain loves looking and analyzing all of the old behavior patterns, all of the emotional patterns within yourself, within other people, within the society, whatever, and drawing conclusions based on that. So let's say you find some kind of a belief system, but it's rooted in pattern recognition. The only way for you to release this would be through grounding yourself in action and consciously proving this limiting belief that's telling you you cannot do this because this is what you do every single time. You go out and consciously do the opposite to prove yourself that, hey, I actually can do this when I say that I'm going to do this. Because you are no longer choosing to repeat the patterns. The thing about a pattern is it's a pattern until you realize it's a pattern. But when you see it and you recognize that, hey, this is a pattern that I'm making, and you still keep repeating the pattern, it's no longer a pattern, it's a choice. Grounding yourself in the situation might be going out of your way to consciously make a decision to do something that's the opposite of the pattern. If every single time you're taking the step to the right, this time you're consciously taking the step to the left. And when you prove yourself that you can actually do that, not only are you gaining a new skill, which is more conscious control over your actions, but also a release of the limiting belief that was based on your old patterns. Or maybe you're someone who struggles with weak boundaries, putting down the boundaries. You'll not be able to find the belief that tells you, hey, you are really shit at boundaries, and be like, I want to release you. No, your brain is looking at the patterns. Your brain is looking at your previous actions. Your brain is looking at this experience. You will need to bring in the new proof into the mix to allow your brain to kind of loosen up at first, and then to have an easier time of releasing it. So what do we have so far? Curiosity as the main ingredient of shadow work, journaling as a tool to be used in addition to curiosity for a faster progress, for you to be able to keep track of your progress, and of course grounded actions when needed, because some of the limiting beliefs are more rooted in the pattern. So to release the pattern, you have to introduce a new pattern. Now, let's say you're doing this conscious work of releasing, of working, of healing, of facing your shadows. If you want to have even a faster progress, I want to introduce the idea of exposure leads to expansion. Because imagine you are going down there, cleaning out root one by one by one by one. And in addition to that, you are also planting conscious roots that are helping you to be more of you quicker. Because when you think about exposure leads, because when we think about exposure leads to expansion, it literally is allowing yourself to experience something new, to realize whether or not that something new resonates with you. It's like playing Sims 4, right? You can choose what interests your Sims have, or what kind of likes and dislikes they have. But if you allow them to kind of go out there and explore it themselves, they will let you know, hey, looks like I really love playing guitar. Hey, looks like I really hate cooking. And that's the same idea behind what we are trying to do. If you're really curious about some kind of an action, if you're really curious about some kind of a meal, go out and try it. As long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not taking from anyone, as long as you are literally just doing it because you are curious and you're interested and you're excited about it, do it. How are you going to know that you like Indian food if you never try an Indian food? How would you know that you like hiking if you never go hiking? Who knows, maybe you'll find out that you have a talent for pottery at 69 years old because you went out and tried pottery for the first time at that age. So if you're letting yourself experience your curious interests while clearing out whatever limiting beliefs that are not yours through shadow work, your journey towards your authenticity will be so wonderful, so freeing, so healing, and so quick. I genuinely believe that there can be peace, unity, compassion in the world if we choose to step away from the ego and lead with our hearts. And all of that starts with every single one of us individually healing our wounds first. You can only love someone, you can only give love to someone as much as you can give that to yourself. You can only see someone as much as you can see yourself. If you have a lot of repressed parts of your being, if you have a lot of dark thoughts, if you have a lot of parts of yourself that you haven't really faced or explored, how can you really look at someone else and see them truly or try to understand them if you are lacking that within? This is the frame. I added a little bit more around like the inner part, but I can see shit, sorry guys. So I added a little bit more here, and I'm definitely gonna keep doing it because this kind of cute. I ain't gonna lie. You have to believe in the vision. You have to trust the process. It looks very messy or whatever right now, but like, girl, I've only worked on it for like what? But thank you for watching the video up to this point. You're amazing. I love you. Stay safe.